gallons of coolant. Yeah, so let's do this, man.
All right, you guys, today's the next day, Saturday morning. I was gonna take it out last night. It started getting cold, and on top of that, I wanted to be able to film it for you guys. So we're gonna do install, remove, removal, install, same video. I just wanted to be able to bring you guys the content. All right, so I'm gonna start taking apart stuff. I got my buddy Shug coming over to help me out soon, so I'll be able to get way better filming done because I'll have free hands. Okay, so before he gets here, I'll show you guys where we left off at, which is this. Okay, so nothing really changed, but yeah, I will be having to I'm gonna be putting this somewhere else. The catch can is probably gonna go there on top of the fuse box door. I'm gonna run the line around on the back side. Okay, so yeah, you know what I'm saying? Pull those fucking muscles on you.
I was restricted by the. I was gonna put more layers on.
I had more. I had a sweater and the fucking pants on, but I couldn't move.
Yeah, that's why I didn't. I was like, do I wanna?
But it's not that cold out here.
Nah, and I went outside. I was like, yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, you guys. So I got my lovely buddy Shug out here helping. For those of you who might remember him back when we did some work on this 12 valve a long time ago. But I had to give y'all an update. So we went ahead. I disconnected the downpipe. Turned out that my exhaust was loose this entire time, coming from that elbow coming off of the back side of the turbo. It was loose, so my whole exhaust shifted, and I didn't even know it. Right there, that coolant line on top of the turbo, we disconnected it. You will get a plug for it, and then we're gonna disconnect the oil drain line, which is that steel braided line right here. We're gonna disconnect that from the top side of the turbo, get that out of the way. What else? We took the boost pipe off, going to the intercooler, the Mishimoto one. It was kind of shitty. What are you doing right now?
I'm gonna take the whole feed line
off the turbo. Okay. He just removed the EGT probe off the exhaust manifold. Once we get that stuff, once he takes that oil line off, we should be okay. We might have to move this coolant line out of the way in order to get to the bottom side nuts for the manifold.
Take that off too.
Oh yeah, we gotta take that off too. We do. So I think the kit comes with a plug for that as well. Yeah. If it doesn't, then I'm gonna plug it because that's what a lot.
So we have to take that out then.
Yes, but not right now. Because I don't know, we don't need to take it off in order to remove this.
Yeah.
I just don't know if the kit came with a plug, but if not, then I'll just pick one up. It'd be like this.
Yeah, when I was doing my EGR deleting all that stuff, that's what I couldn't get out. I couldn't get this out.
It was tight as fuck.
Yeah, the tools that I had at the time, I couldn't get it out.
Yeah, I got a shit ton of tools, so I bust that pussy open. All right, then. This is the update. This is a knuckle busting job, so.
5 minutes into it.
Yeah.
Not even 5 minutes.
Yeah, so if you got weak hands or frail hands, this ain't the job for you. So you will bust a knuckle multiple times, and it sucks when it's colder. So that's the update we got. That's for the turbo clamp. Yeah, I just set it there because the tire holds it good. All right, so we're underneath the truck right now. I just wanted to show y'all. You can see that's the drain line for the original turbo. It's easiest if you access it from down here. My bad. If you can access it from down here, get you a 10mm socket with an extension and a swivel fitting, and you can get right up in there, be able to take that loose, all right? So it's pretty easy up front. Okay, caution advisory note, you will have to move some coolant lines. More particular, this one, when you take it off, it is gonna piss coolant until it gets below that level. So if you got a buddy working on it with you underneath the engine, just give him the courtesy to let you know that, you know, it's about to rain. So far the progress we made, I disconnected the downpipe, I started to disconnect the drain tube on the bottom, and then the coolant went everywhere. I know I said it was a 10 mil earlier, but one side's a 10 mil and then the other side's like, I don't know what size it is. It's like, it's not a 9, it's not a 10. I don't know if I have to do a standard size or what, but it's a bitch to get to. We took the heat shroud, took that heat shroud off the manifold to be able to access the bottom nuts or bolts for that manifold. You're probably gonna need a deep weld.
That's good.
Oh, it works? Okay. So we're starting to prep. Hey, leave the middle two, those two middle manifold bolts on. Those would be the last two we take off. That way it doesn't like cant funny. Yeah, so when you start taking the manifold off, take off all of the bolts on the bottom and start taking the ones up top on the outside. Leave those two nuts in the middle. Leave those for last. That way, that way you can take those out last and somebody can be supporting the turbo and you can get it out, okay? What else? That's really it. And then we got the new stuff on the bench. I'll show y'all once we get the old. Okay, update number 3.1 and a half. So we're taking off the manifold. Well, McKnight's taking the manifold bolts off. He's going back and forth between a 1/2-inch drive. What size is that? 13 mil? 13 mil 1/2-inch with a flex head on it to get back up in there. And then once he breaks torque on it, we're using the electric Milwaukee electric 3/8 drive wrench or ratchet. It's pretty good. So once we get them back bolts out, and then we get these last two bolts out, all girls should be free, hopefully. So we're gonna see what happens. All right. Yeah. Okay, you guys. So we got some crazy freaky shit going on. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So check it out. Please be aware you are gonna have to change coolant. All right. So check it out. The stock turbos on these trucks, on these 351s, have a coolant running through them. This is the return coolant going back to the engine block. So if you take that off, that bottom one is the stock, this original coolant line going back into the engine. When you take that off, be prepared to put the plug that comes with your kit into it, because if not, you're gonna dump your entire coolant system out of your truck. So luckily, this is why it's good to have two hands. Luckily, we were able to take it off and shove the new plug in with enough time before we lost all of our coolant, especially because I just put new coolant in it the other week. So, and then you get two plugs. One plug goes down the side of the block. The other one goes up there where you can see it's at going connecting with the rest of it. So that means we could have put that plug in when we first.
Well, nothing came out of there, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Until you pop the cap.
You can see we got all the manifold bolts removed. For that bottom left one, the easiest way to get to that is by coming through your right wheel right there, and you come through here with an extension and a swivel, and you get it on there. All right, and now I'll get her loose. So we got the downpipe disconnected here by the elbow. I'll probably need to disconnect it from there too, whatever. We got the connectors for the stock turbo disconnected. And the only thing we don't have disconnected is a drain tube right down there, because one of the bolts is being a bitch and it doesn't want to come off. No side socket wants to fit on it and loosen it. They all either are too small or too big. So we're just gonna probably take it from the engine when we pull it out. So
she's pretty much ready to come out, except for these two bolts on the manifold.
So we got two bolts and then that drain tube.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if we can figure out this drain tube real quick, and then because it'll be a lot easier pulling her out once we know it's not going to get like tangled up, you know what I'm saying? Or we can just yank it from the engine block. I don't care. All right, you guys, I just want to show y'all what we were doing. What is that?
Oh, heat shield.
Heat shield? Oh. So she's out. It was a bitch. And I highly recommend disconnect all your batteries, all right, because they will arc. Actually, take this battery out and take this off. You will save yourself a hassle. That was a work of art right there. But she's out, so we're gonna clean this area up. Get some brake cleaner, clean it all up, and then get ready. We're gonna take apart the 2nd gen turbo in the garage in a minute. We're gonna take it apart, oil it, and then mount the manifold, and then we'll mount the turbo to it, and we'll mount the main section of the turbo to the manifold, then mount the manifold, and then connect the turbine cover and the compressor cover, and then hook up everything else. Oh, we gotta take the downpipe out. Oh, yeah. We can pull it out now because the turbo's out of the way. Yeah. So we'll take that downpipe out, and yeah, she's out. This thing, I'm selling this motherfucker.
Dude, this thing's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy as fuck. No turbo shaft play though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a good turbo. It has like, pretty sure it's the OEM one. It has like 160,000 on it.
Snug.
Whole set. VGT works. None of the vanes stick. So.
God. Dude, this just hangs on the side of the engine.
I know, man.
Oh my God. Poor engine.
That's a lot of weight, man. I mean, I know the next one's gonna have a lot of weight, but that's fucking heavy.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Dude, what is that? What does this manifold look like?
It looks a shit ton nicer. Dude, let's get the ultimate comparison. Oh, that's beautiful. Does the hole look bigger?
No, it looks about the same.
Yeah.
I'm sure the insides is bigger.
It's not as harsh of a cut.
It's definitely more. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Open
Definitely more open in there.
Yeah.
Like this just goes in and straight down. This one's all fucking tight and stuff.
Hard ass fucking nut turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Well, if anybody wants a turbo, hit me up. For sale, not free. Damn, man, this is clean. This is.
Yeah, you can see how much deeper this is.
Oh, the bank, so it's harder.
This is just
nice and smooth. That's a good point. Holy shit. I can't believe we got it out, man. That thing was heavy as fuck.
Yeah, it was.
God damn. Good luck paying for shipping on that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and clean this all up. Get all the old gaskets off, get some brake cleaner, wipe everything down, wipe up all this coolant. I'm going to crank up the compressor so we can blow it out.
We're going to plug that oil line.
Which one?
The oil.
Oh, like we'll just stuff a rag in there or some shit. I don't want nothing falling in there. That's a good point. Make sure you when you take off the oil drain or that right there, make sure you put something in there, cover that up, so that way you don't get water, coolant, dirt going, because that goes right down to your oil pan. So you don't want that shit inside your engine. Okay. You were about
that is transmission, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, why do you have a transmission dipstick all the way where you're?
All right. So what we did just now was we pulled out the stock. I should have showed y'all, but we pulled the stock drain. Just put your finger in there, bro.
Let's bring it up high enough.
We pulled out the stock drain line off the. Where's the old one at? Stock one.
It's on the bench.
Oh, we pulled it off now, and the new fitting should show it to them. We're gonna put it inside of the block down here. So, are you gonna be able to reach it from where? I think you're gonna. It goes way down there, and he's gonna push it in there. Just the middle piece though. So we got the oil drain line on. We reused the old hole. We were being girls about it, so we had to tap it in. We got a piece of block with the packings on it and stuff. It's made it super tight, and we just tapped it in with a little mallet to get it in. I didn't tighten the hose down all the way just because we got to still be able to mount the turbo. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this manifold over here, and we're gonna set it up with the turbo. All right. So we got the manifold. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the turbine housing and mount the turbo to this, and then we're going to mount all of the hardware with these gaskets. And you will see when we're setting it up in a second that these little tangs on it are made to where the gaskets stay on the bolts so they don't fall off, so you don't have to worry about trying to line them up when you mount this, okay? Alright, you guys, so a lot of time went by. I had to stop what I was doing. I did a bunch of stuff. Long story short, manifold's in, and the turbo housing is in and mounted, okay? It was giving us a fight. My buddy left already. It was giving us a fight to get these back bolts in, alright? When you're putting this manifold in, if you do, first things first, I highly recommend get a pair of exhaust manifold studs. That would make your installation 100 times easier on this. Number two, if you don't and you do use these, when you put them in, thread the back ones in first, okay? It's so much easier. Thread the back one, get at least that top back one back there, get that in, and then come back to the middle and throw two in the middle. When you put the threads on, you just put like maybe two, three, no more than 4 threads max screwed in, okay? That's gonna be and then from there you'll be able to go ahead and get the rest of them in. All right, I had to go and get a I've never used these before, but it's called a ball end hex bit socket set.
Reason being is because I need to torque these to 32 foot-pounds, and it's really hard at that angle to get those ones. You cannot get it in there straight, which makes no sense to me why they would why they would make it like that. But who knows? They could have used bolts instead of Allen key bolts, because if it was a regular hex bolt, you could put a crow's foot on it or a dog bone and torque her down. But whatever, big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and torque this up, and then once this is torqued, we're gonna go in the garage and we're gonna go ahead and oil up the turbo and bring the turbo over. Okay. Alright, you guys, so what I'm about to do now is I'm about to hook up the port fitting for the oil drain line. The oil drain line is going to screw to this, so we're going to go ahead and get this hooked up. Alright, so like so, and then all you do, line her up, you get your fittings. Okay, so I went ahead. This is the oil feed line coming. That's going to be feeding the oil to the turbo. What I did was I went ahead and there's a fitting on the top side, and then on the bottom you're going to have your drain right there. Okay, I went ahead and connected both of them. This top one didn't have. It might not need it, but I put one on just because that's how I am when it comes to these type of fittings. There's a little packing that I felt like it needed one in that groove in there, so I went ahead and put the packing. I have a packing set here, so I slapped one of them in there. These are aluminum fittings, so when you tighten them, you do not have to tighten these gorilla crazy hard, or you're pretty much strip them out. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and go over to the turbo, and we're going to mount this to the turbo. Okay, so we have the turbo in, compressor cover housing off. I went ahead and installed the oil feed line, and the oil drain line is installed. Right there is the oil drain line going down to the original port. That line right there is going to be the oil feed line, the skinny one. I'm gonna reorganize it again, because I really don't want it touching the turbine housing, especially because I just ordered a blanket, a little cheap one off Amazon, turbo blanket, so I don't want that touching there, getting hot, burning it. So, but it's in for now. Okay. I also got the fitting. You will have to take off the original fitting that is there on your oil filter housing and put the supplied one they will give you. It is an MPT fitting. I was a little sketchy about this fitting because in there, that one, when you start threading it, it gets real tight. Like, it almost feels like cross threading tight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how it feels when the bolt's starting to cross thread? It felt like that. But I did some research and contacted some people. You know, they were like, hey, it's good. It's an MPT thread. It's flared out, so it's gonna do that. So we're good on that. So now what I'm gonna do is this coolant line tube right here, I'm gonna go ahead and connect this back. I did disconnect it, and I did unbolt it from the engine block side. You guys can see right there. I got to get that back in position and line it back up. That's just going to connect. There is a little hole right behind that tank that is going to screw into. Okay, so that's what we're doing. I'm going to get that taken care of and then get back. All right, you guys, I went ahead and secured that pipe. They call it the coolant riser tube. I believe there is a delete, or either a delete kit or some sort of reroute kit Fleece makes. Don't know if they make it for 3rd gens, but I know they make one for 4th gens. If you guys know about the one for the 3rd gens for these trucks, that will remove this, and I think it like runs along here. Please let me know. I'd be highly interested in that, because I'm gonna have to put that ugly blue coolant line back to this, and it's just gonna be it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb in here. So if you're looking at the manifold and stuff and you're like, what the fuck, dude, how is it orange already? All right, so pretty much it rained and everything was not wet, but it was exposed. It's very humid out here where I live, so it gets really humid out here any type of something like this, it can orange easily like that. I'm hoping it goes away when it starts to warm up, but when I start the truck. But if not, I'm gonna try to clean it up and get it looking presentable, because that is not happening. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put the downpipe on. The downpipe is gonna connect to the backside of the turbo housing right here. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just guide it up, get the clamp on, and put the V-band clamp onto it and tighten it down. Now, I have the clamp here. I'm not going to do it now because I'm actually going to take the downpipe off again to wrap it, but I'm just putting it on for installation to start her up. I'm going to put some thread locker on my band clamp because I don't want what happened last time to happen again, where the band clamp started to loosen and it shifted, causing the exhaust to shift. So in order to prevent that, I'm just going to add that the next time I put something on, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get the downpipe in and link up with y'all once I'm done. All right, we got the downpipe installed. Make sure when you do the downpipe, you want to make sure the flanges on both the downpipe and actual turbine housing, make sure it's flush with each other, okay? If you put it on crooked, there might be a chance the clamp is not good. And then once you put the clamp on, run your hand all the way around it, and what you're feeling is you're trying to make sure that the clamp is all the way on the lip, okay? Because if not, you're gonna have a crooked exhaust and it's probably gonna leak and it'll fall out and all that stuff. So then when you come down here, when you look at the turbo relative to the exhaust, you see how it's nice and straight. You know what I'm saying? Like earlier when I first mounted it, it was crooked. The bottom was lower on this side, it was lower than on this side. The bottom, it was kind of like coming at a weird angle. So I went ahead and held it in position. And yeah, so we got downpipe in. Nice little cute 4-inch downpipe. All right, coming from a 5-inch, or what I used to have, but it's not a big deal. Okay, so we're making progress, you guys. Okay, you guys, so as you saw, I was struggling to get that in. It is a lot bigger when it's in the engine bay than it is when it's out. I did have to move the battery tray, as you can see. So I unbolted, it was like five bolts. I unbolted the battery tray, moved it out the way, and I was able to get the compressor housing in. So now my next, I got to mount the battery tray back, but my next mission is going to be getting this in, because as you guys know, I have the aftermarket Mishimoto intercooler. It has bigger piping. It's not the stock 3-inch or whatever size stock comes with, so I'm probably gonna have to cut into this. I'm gonna shorten this up. That's what I think I'm gonna do. And these clamps are super good at biting down on these, so I think I'm gonna shorten this, and then I won't have the bead roll in it. The bead roll is to make sure that the boot doesn't slip off, but I think, you know, until I can get a real boot, I can get a real boost tube that's gonna fit, I think we'll be okay. All right, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and that's what we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna put the tray back in, guys. So we went ahead, got the battery tray back in. I figured I'd show you guys this because I don't know if it's just me or, damn, I got a scratch on the damn cover. I don't know if it's just me or what. So this, whatever the fuck this is, like a solenoid or something for starting, it was here, okay, and it was really close to the intake down here, or the boost tube. So I relocated it. I moved it from here over here to the side, reused the same hardware and everything. And the only thing I did was I loosened up this negative terminal right here, or ground cable. I loosened it so I can kind of rotate it a little bit so you know it's not putting tension on it. And then yeah, so she's here now. Everything's all secured. Tell me if I'm crazy right now for what I did, okay? Please let me know if I'm crazy. If I'm crazy, or I'm smart, or I'm just weird. I don't know. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. So I got a boot on the turbo. You see it? The Mishimoto one? Yeah. This was the one that went on to the stock turbo. It was a little too small and would not wrap around this one. So what did I do? Grab my heat gun. Oh, that's not the heat gun. That's the heat gun. Grabbed the heat gun, warmed it up, for about a minute. Got it all nice and warm and stretchy. Came back over here, walked up to it, put it on. In 10 seconds, it was on. Like easy butter. Check this out. Well, went ahead. Yeah, it ain't the cleanest cut, but it'll do. Shit. So I went ahead and measured it up, and this should be the amount of length we need. I'm going to go ahead and size it up. I went a little bit on the bigger side because it's always better to cut not enough or than to cut too much. You guys know what I'm saying. So I went ahead and got some sandpaper, smoothed it out, got all the rough edges off, so it won't cut the boot or, you know, won't mess with the drag. I know I got a couple of you scientists out there. You're probably going to be like, oh, you should have polished the inside so it airflows better. Well, you know how people are. Everybody's a critic. All right, so I'm going to take that boot out, put this on, and then we're going to try to get this boost pipe situation done with in a way. All right, so after about half an hour, finally got the boot situation figured out. All right, this is as good as it's going to get until I can order, I don't know, a kit that's made for this setup with the aftermarket size, like 3.5-inch pipe. But the biggest thing is, if you're going to do something like this, you need to make sure that you have enough of the pipe inside of the boot. That way, when the clamp bites down, it's biting on the tube, not, you know, nothing. So I came back here, I loosened this up so that you can see where it used to be. So I had a lot of playroom, so I just kind of slid everything back, and by doing that, it gave me enough surface area for the piping. Honestly, I think this should be a good setup. You know what I'm saying? I also went ahead and I left the compressor cover housing. I left it loose until I got it right where I wanted it, which is this spot. So then I went ahead and tightened it back up. Well, it's that time. I got everything hooked back up, batteries hooked up. One thing I was a little disappointed about that I couldn't hook up is the EGT Pro, because the way I have to fit it in the garage right now. But pretty much, if you look, one sec, let me get the flashlight. If you look at where the fitting is, it's so close to that ridge, that edge. I can't screw it in there, so I'm gonna have to either get a longer one or like see if I don't know, see if they make a adapter or something for it. Maybe one of you guys know about it. That was a disappointment right there, but no biggie, something small. So I got the EGT probe just chilling over there. I did not hook up the CCV reroute yet. I'm going to once I move it over there. But yes, we are after 2 days, or it's, you know. All right, you guys, I'm recording this on my phone. My battery decided to die. So if the quality is a little less, or who knows, it might be better. This is it. Okay. So we are done. We are done. Yes. Everything is done, man. I'm so happy. We're going to crank her up now. Okay. I did checks, make sure everything was tight. Everything was good. I added some coolant. I got to add some more once it starts to run, because I lost probably about 2 to 3 gallons of coolant. Yeah, so let's do this, man. We're good, man. We're good. The downpipe's not hooked up to the exhaust. Checking, making sure nothing is leaking, nothing is going wrong. Oh my God. done. Hopefully the camera shows it good, but the turbo is a success. Please, I'll have more on everything in the upcoming week. I will be doing a review. I took it for a test drive and I'm scared. It's different. You know, there's a curve where it just punches and you get scared. And it sounds good though. So definitely, like always, thank you for watching the videos. Until next time, which hopefully will be soon. Y'all take it easy. Be safe. Thank you guys again. I really appreciate it. I'm recording this on my phone because my camera died. So yeah, second gen swap is complete.